Hi, my name is Romy. Welcome back to Start Pages. Today I'm going to be doing a flip through of my 2023 reading journal. I just want to go through, show you what spreads I did in 2023, point out which ones I'm going to be doing in my 2024 reading journal, which ones I'm going to be taking out, which I'm going to be redesigning, and just my thoughts on the spreads and whatnot. So this is my first time like doing a full reading journal. I have some pages here because I had originally bought this book to be like a 2023 bullet journal, but at the start I realized I didn't want to. I wasn't like bullet journal organization wasn't working for me anymore with a reading journal and a media journal for like TV shows and movies. That one I like because it's more, like a creative form of journaling. Anyway, this is the cover page. Kind of simple. I really liked how it turned out with the colors and then the white in the middle. Anyway, then I had the goals page. I originally put read 80 books, and it was when I was coloring in I realized it should have been 70 because the way I set my goals is I set a reading goal which is a multiple of 10, and then if I complete it in that year, then the next year I add 10 more books. So in 2022 I had set the reading goal for 70, but I actually didn't complete my reading goal of 70, so the reading goal for 2023 would have been 70 again, but I didn't realize until I bought it. And I had drawn 80 smaller boxes, and then when I realized and I was stamping out read 80 books, I realized it should have been 70, so I changed to 70, and then I had to paste on a new piece of paper and draw over 70 boxes, and I was still continuing because I wasn't counting as I was going. But anyway, my reading goals were read 80 books, complete my physical TBR, as in read all the books I physically own, read 6 nonfiction books, complete 4 webtoons, as in start and finish a webtoon that was already finished before I started it, instead of starting a webtoon that was still ongoing, because all of the webtoons right now that I'm reading, they're ongoing. Even fan fictions, I start them and they're not finished yet, so I'm constantly waiting for updates. And even though the updates, when I get the update notification, I get a boost of serotonin, I kind of just want to finish one thing, or 4 in this case, and just, know that I finished the story, and then read more lesser known manga. And by this, I did mean like less popular manga, but I also meant read manga that I was not aware of, because like I was not made aware of based on watching the anime. Like in 2021, I think I read the entire Haikyuu manga series online. That was because I had finished the anime, and I started the My Hero Academia manga because I had finished the anime again and I was waiting for the next season, and I got up to where it was updating like weekly, and like the more I read on, like every week when a new chapter came out, I realized I was actually hate reading because I did not like My Hero canon, or BNHA canon, whether you want to say it in English or Japanese, I don't know. I didn't like the canon. Fanon I like. Canon I absolutely despised it, and I was hate reading it, and I decided to stop for my peace of mind and my well-being. But anyway, this was the tracker. I would say the Goodreads tracker, but it's not really my Goodreads goal. It's just my reading goal. Read 70 books. So I fill in the squares based on the color code I have down here, and each color is attributed to a rating. So green is 5 stars, a light blue, which you're not seeing any of, is 4.5 stars, dark blue is 4 stars, yellow is 3.5 stars, orange is 3 stars, brown is 2.5, this tan color is 2 stars, red is 1 star, and then this gray here is a DNF. I didn't finish coloring these books, not on these squares, not only because I didn't read 70 books, but also because I stopped updating my reading journal in October, because that's when most of my mid semesters happened to come up, and I was kind of scrambling for mid semesters, and then after that it was finals right after, and I was scrambling for finals. So it was my first year of university, so take it easy on me, and I'll take it easy on myself. So hopefully in 2024, by the time I get to October onwards and I have finals again, I will, have a better handle on university, so I can keep updating my reading journal, because I do enjoy reading journaling. So I read more than 48 books, I think, but I just didn't go back and update. Then we have the physical TBR. I wanted to do a bookshelfie, but I didn't want to do what I usually see, which is like a full spread of just empty book shapes, and as I read books, I write the titles in, for a couple reasons. One, I write small, like even though I write smaller than most people, like I don't know if you can see here, I wrote in all caps, but this is me attempting to write bigger, like a normal size. But even though I write smaller than most people, I leave more space in between my words, so to fit into the book shapes, that would be on the shelf, I would have to write the words closer, and I don't like how that looks. Plus, I don't like writing titles of the books without the author. Like, if I'm keeping a track of the books I read, I would want to know the author is just from a glance. So for the physical TBR, it was just a little bit different. I wanted to do the shelf, so I just wrote the books that I own physically in the shelf, and I would color it in green as I read, or green as I after I read it, or red if I DNF'd it or decided I wasn't going to read it. So I read 6 books off my physical TBR, and I DNF'd 2. So 4 Aunties on a Wedding, which is a sequel to Dial A for Aunties, and Flash Fire, which is a sequel to, I don't remember, that series by TJ Klune where like somebody has superpowers. It was a whole thing. I don't remember what the series is called, but I decided I didn't want to continue those 2. Here we have this spread for my 2023 reading reread TBR. This should have been split up into 12, so like I would have had it after each month, because this TBR here, like, this is some of the books I wanted to reread in 2023, but it's not all of them. I wanted to reread throughout the year. So the goal for the reread TBR was, there's 2 goals. One, the one with the stars are books that I reread every year. So books that I give 5 stars, I reread them annually. And then the ones with the circles are books that I wanted to reread to see if I wanted to keep them, because I decided like in 2021 or so that I only wanted books that I could wholeheartedly recommend. If somebody came into my house and looked at my bookshelf and asked which book I would recommend. So I didn't want any book that I had given a rating lower than 4 stars, or if it was a really pretty copy that I happened to have 3.5 stars. So I wanted to reread all the books that I had in my collection to make sure I would still give them 4 stars with my current reading taste and onwards. So these were the books that I could think of in January, but what I really should have done is chosen a reread TBR for every month and had one of these spreads 12 times. But anyway, out of this, I'm going to have another spread in here coming up sometime soon. But out of this, The Hate You Give, I decided to keep since I read it and gave it 5 stars again. And The Perfect World of Miwako Sumida, which I got from the author to review, I think I gave it 3 stars. And I did review it, so I didn't have any problems unhauling it. And then here's my ARC TBR. I divided it into 3 because these are the 3 sets that I signed up for. I had an account for to receive ARC. So we have NetGalley, Edelweiss, and Book Sirens. I didn't receive any, or I didn't request any ARCs from Book Sirens in 2023. But NetGalley was full. I actually had to make another spread for one more ARC that I got in 2023. But I'm almost done with NetGalley. And the ones that I haven't read yet, I'm currently doing a reading vlog this year to read all the NetGalley arcs before January 22nd, because that's when I start semester 2 of university. So the ones that I read, I took them off with my silver pen, and those that I DNF'd, I crossed them off with the black ink. Same thing for Edelweiss. And then here we have the series catch up, this page and this page. Oh, I didn't actually tell you which ones I wanted to keep. Hold on. Obviously, I'm going to keep the reading goal. I'm going to keep this book, this spread. I'm actually going to change the way I do this. So I bought a book stamp so I can do like a bookshelf, another bookshelfy spread, but I'll just number the books and color them in with the same color code thing. And also I want to keep the colors in like a closer color range so it looks better than just this random block of colors. So it will look something like this, but you know, with better drawn books since I bought a stamp. And going down to 70 once again since I didn't complete my reading goal of 70. This I'm probably going to keep, but do it monthly instead. This I'm going to keep, but yes, this I'm going to keep, but not in this format. I don't like how this turned out. I've seen some other people do the series catch up or the series tracker spread, and I like the way how they did it better. So I'm going to take some inspiration from a couple other creators and do a series tracker in my 2024 reading vlog. But The Extraordinaries, this one is colored in red because I decided I wasn't going to continue that series. Also the Aunties series. But I think these and some new series are going to be in the 2024 reading blog. Then we have the book battle. I should have done this in a 2-page spread, but I wasn't really thinking properly. I don't know what I was on. But I did do 12 lines. But my plan was, instead of doing one book each month, I would have just done every book that I read 5 stars, because I didn't expect to have that many 5-star reads. And according to Goodreads, I had 13 5-star reads, but not all of them I would have put on the book battle because some of them were rereads, and I don't think that would have been fair. So I ended up with only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books for the book battle. and I had wanted to shuffle them, so I didn't want to put them in the order that I read them. I don't know why, but because I tried to shuffle them, there were spaces and it just wasn't working out. So I had to cross them out and write them onto new lines. But I had put This Poison Heart, One Life, Into the Light, Dick Fat Island, Hell Followed With Us, A Small Place, and This Wicked Fate, and then This Poison Heart beat One Life, Into the Light beat Dick Fat Island, Hell Followed With Us beat A Small Place, and then This Wicked Fate didn't have anything to compete with, and then This Poison Heart beat Into the Light, Hell Followed With Us beat This Wicked Fate, and I really need to sit down and think which one out of these two I want to put as the best book of 2023 to fill in this spread here. Even though it's January 16th at the time that I'm finishing it, I still haven't thought about which one is the best book. I might have to do a double, you know, tied winners. So this is the cover page for January. I decided I want to keep my monthly stats on the cover page. But in 2024, I think I'm just going to do like a design on the cover page, and then after all the dedicated book spreads, I'm going to do a recap spread right before the next month's cover page. But the stats that I wanted to track in 2023 was with the number of books read, number of pages read, the number of 5 stars, number of DNFs, number of webtoons, because of the goal of webtoons, my favorite book, my favorite webtoon, and my favorite fanfic. Favorite fanfic because I wanted to make it known, like recorded in this book, even if it was just for me personally, that even if the number of books would have been small here, I was still reading, because I would have been reading a lot of fan fiction, whether it's before I go to sleep or if I'm driving to school, if it's not me driving, because, you know, I wasn't driving in high school. But in university now I have my driver's license, even though I'm not driving myself all the time because I don't have a car, so it's my parents' cars that I'm borrowing or something. But I wanted to keep track of my favorite fanfics. I didn't want to keep track of the number of fanfics because, one, I would have to keep going back on AO3 and counting the fanfics, and that would have been embarrassing to look at the number of fanfics compared to the number of books, or even just the number of fanfics per month, because if you read fanfic, you know the number is quite high, and it would have been quite a thing. Anyway, here I have the books read page. I decided to make it like library themed. I don't know what cracker was on when I filled out all these spaces with stars to be colored in, but I obviously did not read that many books. Then we have the anticipated releases spread. I read these two, I didn't read this. I think in 2024, I'm going to do a reading vlog of trying to read all the 2023 anticipated releases. This one I really liked, this one disappointed me. I have a review of this one. I think I have to write the review of this one and post it either on Goodreads, Storygraph, or YouTube, I don't know, or TikTok, I don't know. Then we have a spread for Delicious Monsters. I kind of liked how this turned out. Like, the idea is there, but I think I could do better. So hopefully in 2024, with the other books that I have spreads for, it's gonna look better than this. But you know, the idea is there. I can see the vision. Then we have Bird and the Bone. This one I like more than Delicious Monsters, but I could still do better. I think this one I had a video for because I was part of a promotional tour. This is one of the books that I'm going to add on to the series tracker because it's another book out, but I got declined for the arc, so I'll have to wait on. I think it's actually published already. So I just have to get my hands on a digital copy and read that. Then this is Jamaica Kincaid Read Along. This is hosted by Kiki at If This Is Paradise, and it's supposed to go from 2023 to 2024. So these are the books that were being read in 2023. I unfortunately did not keep up with it because in the first half of the year I had KAPE Unit 1 exams, and in the second half of the year, first semester of university, as I said. So a lot was going on. I couldn't keep up. But I read 3 out of the 7 books from 2023, and I pasted them here on the side because the original plan was to write my mini reviews beside the book, and if I wanted to do like a full page spread, I would have done it in the month that I read the book. So I know The Small Place got a dedicated spread, which I have not done, but I did paste the cover in. Then we have the February cover page. February is my birthday. I did turn 19 in 2023. It was also my golden birthday because I'm born on February 19th. So I wanted to do a Dutch door with the little cake. The cake could have been better, but you know, first reading journal, we live and we learn. I have a thing for Dutch doors now, so I think a couple of Dutch doors are going to be in 2024 reading journal. But anyway, here's where I actually did the first reread TBR. So I reread The Hate You Give and The Perfect World of Miwaka Sumida. I think The Lightning Thief as well. No, I did not. So it was supposed to be on the TBR, but I did not read it. I decided to keep The Hate You Give because I read it and gave it 5 stars again. And The Perfect World of Miracle Simida, I gave it 3 stars or something. So I decided I was going to unhaul it. I haven't done that yet, but I still need to unhaul it. Then these are anticipated releases. I've read none of these, but I don't know. Is my cursive good? I don't know. I haven't done cursive in years. Then the books read spread again. This is my dedicated spread. What's the word I'm looking for? Thread for The Hate You Give. I kind of liked how it turned out. It's okay. I can draw better. I think maybe in 2024 the doodles will look better. This Poison Heart. I really like this book. I really love the book, and I liked how the spread turned out, except for these vines here. I think they could have looked better, but you know, life goes on. We live and we learn. Anticipated releases for March. This one, the reason it's here is because I was originally planning to do a 2-page spread for The Hate You Give, except here and here would have been the spread, and then here and here would have been this Poison Heart. But I decided that would have looked weird, so I just decided to do a 1-page spread for The Hate You Give, and then do these 2 pages for this Poison Heart, and then I had this empty page, which I was planning to leave blank until I had gotten to the dedicated book spreads in March, and realized I didn't do the anticipated releases spread, so I just decided to just use this empty page right beside the cover page and know that it goes along with March. Yeah. So here's the TBR. This is when I started writing TBRs in the book, because I realized even though I'm kind of a mood reader, I still like to have a TBR. So I just have the TBR and mood read based on what's in the TBR. So instead of following like a numbered list, I can just pick, you know, any mini mini mo, or what based on what I'm feeling. So I try to shuffle the TBR with a variety of genres and age ranges if possible. And then books read, because even though I have a TBR, sometimes I stray, right? So I still write down the books read so I can write down the rating and the author, because I don't know, I still like to have it. Too Wrong to Be Right. This one I really like. Spellbound I really like. I also have a review for this on my channel because it was for a promotional tour. The Witch King, I gave this one 4 stars. I really liked it, but for the longest time I could not think of any intelligent thoughts to write down for a review. So this spread, up until like a couple days ago, even though I read this way back in, just make sure it's the right month, I'm looking at March, I only wrote this review like 2 days ago, and it's really short, but I did really like this book. Then we have the April cover page, TBR. Once again, I forgot to write the anticipated releases after the cover page, so it came here. I read these 2 books. I didn't read this one, but this was the Spring Equinox for the Magical Readathon. I did read all the books on the TBR. This one I didn't realize until after that this book cover was upside down and the glue had dried already, and if I had taken it off it would have ripped the picture and probably ripped the page. I just decided to leave it. This book and this book, they were the book club picks for a book club that my best friend and one of my siblings had formed. We decided to read like one serious book, or like one, you know, serious book and one crack book. So Dick Fight Island was the crack book, and we all enjoyed it much more than we thought we would. I gave it 5 stars. And the serious book, Check Please, this one I was really excited for, but I was kind of disappointed, so I gave it 3 stars, and I'm not going to be continuing the series, but life goes on. Yeah, May, TBR, these are the books read. This about Tennis Guys, The Flowers and Fatality. This one I actually forgot to do a page for this in the April spread, and I didn't realize until I was halfway through making the May. So I had already done this, so I just decided to do it. This one I didn't realize until after I had completed the book, or was at the last chapter, that this is actually the second book in a series. And I was thinking, maybe I should go back and read the first book. But there's a romance in the first book that doesn't play out based on what happens in the second book, so I decided I didn't care. Into the Light, really recommend this book. I wanted to read this book because it's by Mark Oshiro, who was writing The Sun and Star with Rick Riordan, and I wanted to read his work so I wouldn't just be reading the book for Rick Riordan, you know, and to test if I like his writing, which I really do. So I'm going to hopefully read other books that he's written. Then Chloe and the Acacia Boys is the spread. I haven't done the spread for the Rural King yet, or written the review yet. I feel like the flame is all I'm going to do for this. June, TBR, anticipated releases, books read. Hell Followed With Us. I like the wings, so I kind of like how it turned out. Then this is where I had to add on another space for the arc tracker. So for NetGalley, The Spirit Bears Teeth by Andrew Joseph White, because I read Hell Followed With Us and loved it so much that I decided I was going to read everything Andrew Joseph White had written. So right after I finished it, I noticed The Spirit Bears Teeth was on NetGalley, so I requested it and got approved. I still haven't read it, but I will get there. And also, he's talking about another book on Twitter right now. So I'm hopefully gonna finish this and request the next one. July, I feel like July, all of the spreads in July are my least favorite just because of the title, the way I did the titles. And you know, the theme, I don't like it. Anyway, anticipated releases, TBR, books read. And then we have this spread for the small place, which I have not done yet. I need to go back and do that. The spread for the Untethered Sky. This is the review section. I need to do like the creative section over here. Haven't decided what I'm going to do yet, even though it's a whole nother year. Then we have the Autumn Equinox spread. This one, the Scholar's Key again, the prompts, and then I had the Poppy War, and then Cutting Your Teeth. I think I gave it 3.5 stars or 4 stars, so I left a spread. In the 2023 reading journal, I said I was only going to do dedicated spreads for books that I really loved, so either 3.5 stars or higher if it's something special I really want to talk about, or 4 stars and higher. But I think in 2024, I'm just going to like divide the page into 4 and review every single book, and then the books that I really loved, I will do a dedicated single spread or a double page spread for those. And then we have September. Anticipate. Here's the Spirit Bears Teeth by Andrew Joseph White. So yes, it's already out. Yeah. Books read. Here's where I reread The Poison Heart for the second time this year, for the second time in 2023, because I wanted to read This Wicked Fate, but I wanted the memories to be fresh, so I decided to reread it in the same year as I read it the first time, and I loved it. And then I read This Wicked Fate, also loved it, and then I left a spread for This Wicked Fate, which I haven't completed obviously. And then here is where I kind of stopped. I did the October type of Halloweeny spread. Didn't have any anticipated releases in October. The TBR, the books read, I gave One Life 5 stars, Tokyo Ghoul Volume 3, Star Daughter. Star Daughter was kind of disappointing. I gave it 3 stars, but anyway. And then I left a spread for One Life by Megan Rapinoe, and that was all I did for 2023. Because, as I said, there's a whole bunch of stuff. So yeah, that's all I have for now. But next week I should be uploading my setup for 2024 reading journal, so you can see the changes that I made and see how I improved in my spread designs and whatnot. But that's it regarding liking, commenting, and subscribing. Do what you want. Bye.